Okay, so I'm going to go through this prompt and dissect it just like we did the first one, except that you should already have done this on your own. Again, I'd like to reiterate that you do not have to have yours the exact same as mine. It can be different, but they should be at least similar. So let's start. First, we have to read the instructions, which says, read this note that Patrick wrote to his mother, explaining why he would not be home after school. Then complete the writing activity that follows. So now we need to read the note that he left. Mom, I have a lot of things to do after school today, so I won't be home until around 5:30. Tyler and I are working on our science project on the solar system, which is due next Tuesday. We are going to use the computers in the lab at school to do our research. Then I have to talk to Mrs. Rogers about the math test because there are some things on the test tomorrow that I don't understand. Kara and Pete are also staying, so if we need to do additional practice for math test, we can do it together. Also, I'm going to stop at the store on my bike ride home because I have to buy a birthday card for Grandma. You told me not to forget, and I promised I wouldn't. If it rains, though, I might need you to take me to the store after you get home. Would that be possible? I just wouldn't want to ride my bike home and get the card all wet. I'll call you from the office after school if it is raining. Hope you have a great day, Mom. Talk to you later. Patrick. Now we need to read the instructions on what we're going to write. Based on the note Patrick left for his mother, what kind of person do you think he is? What is important to Patrick? In what ways are you similar to or different from Patrick? Write an essay in which you describe the kind of person you think Patrick is and what is important to him, and then explain how he is similar or different from you. Okay, let's take a look at this. First, it says we need to write an essay, which is important because we know it needs to be an essay form, 5 paragraphs, not a letter. And then it tells us what we need to write about, in which you describe the kind of person you think Patrick is, and what is important to him, and explain how he is similar or different from you. Those are our 3 body paragraphs. We have 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and remember our first paragraph is always our intro, and our last paragraph is always our conclusion. So now we need to get these planned out off to the side. Remember, I always do the lists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do whatever makes sense to you. So let's go over here. In paragraph 1, we know that's our intro. Paragraph 2. If we look down here, our first body paragraph, describe what kind of person Patrick is. So we're going to describe Patrick. Okay, paragraph 3, let's look down here again, where we have our body paragraphs. It says what is important to him. So paragraph 3 is going to be about what's important to Patrick. Paragraph 4, look down here at the prompt again. It's our final body paragraph. Explain how he is similar or different from you. Sim/diff from you. And then 5 is going to be our concluding paragraph as usual. Okay, so let's look into this a little bit more. Describe Patrick. Well, what do you think he's like? He's probably responsible since he's leaving a note to his mother letting her know where he is. He takes school seriously because he's studying for math tests and he's staying after for science. So school is important. He follows directions because his mom told him to get the birthday card and not to forget, and he's doing that. Okay, so we can write a full paragraph on this. Remember, a paragraph is 5 sentences, rat C. Okay? What is important to Patrick? Well, if we take a look again over here, it says he's staying after to work on the science project that's due next Tuesday and to talk to Mrs. Rogers about the math test. So we're going to say school is probably pretty important to him. That's probably a pretty good guess. Okay, let's look again. Let's see. And we can probably write a full paragraph on school being important because it mentions 2 things in school. So we can write 5 sentences on school being important because it mentions the math test and the science lab. And with math, he's staying after with his teacher and a couple of friends to practice. Okay? Now lastly, it's how is he similar or different to you? So it's going to be you specific. Patrick is similar to me because school is also important to me. If that's a difference for you, you can put that. And Patrick and I are also similar because I would also worry about the card getting wet and keeping things nice. And lastly, Patrick and I are different because I always told my mom, whether I called her or left her a note, when I was going to be late or what was going on, that way she wouldn't worry. Okay, and then our conclusion. So you should have a pre-write that looks similar to this. Again, not exactly the same, but your middle paragraph should be very similar to these middle paragraphs, and your first and your 5th paragraph should definitely be an intro and conclusion. Again, if yours are not exactly the same, do not go back and change yours. I want to see the work you originally did. And you're going to do this twice more, except I'm not going to give you examples. You're going to go back through, or you're going to go through and read the prompt and create a 5-paragraph plan just like we did here on a piece of paper that you'll turn in to me Monday when we come back. If you have any questions, you can email me or the My Big Campus message. The My Big Campus message is probably going to be easiest. So don't hesitate to contact me if you have questions.